service pins. Okay. We'll allow just for a second for them to, for individuals to leave. And then we'll continue on. I see we have several elected officials here. I know that at least 2 or 3 have something on the agenda. We'd like to recognize Dr. Rose, Ms. Cochran, the Sheriff, Mr. Stokes, Mr. Clark, our election commissioners. Also Mrs. Stokes, City Councilman. And hope I'm not missing anyone. And we have just about everyone cleared out. We will continue with our printed agenda. And that is, we'll now go to our elected officials. We'll start with the Honorable Mrs. Eddie Jean Carr. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President, members of the board. We have back before you this morning the petitions for election commissions. You should have gotten a couple of weeks ago the actual petitions in a package that was presented to you with the certification from the Circuit Clerk's office. All the candidates for election commission did submit all their petitions. They were verified by the Circuit Clerk's office. Their certification was presented by the Circuit Clerk's office. However, this time we would ask your approval or denial of the candidates so that we can move forward.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
I have a motion, Mr. President.
Mr. Fisher.
I have 2 motions. First motion is I move that we deny certification of election commission candidates Bobby Gray, District 2, and Blondie Mack, District 5, and reject their petitions for placement on the ballot for November 6, 2012 general election due to the untimely filing of their petitions with the clerk of the board.
Okay. It's been moved. Is there a second? Just give me 1 second, Mr. Graves. We're going to allow every elected official an opportunity to speak. Is there a second? Okay. In accordance with the Attorney General's opinion, I will second the motion. Now we'll go from there to Mrs. Calhoun.
Yes, I had a question. Do we actually have to deny the request if we move forward with certifying only those individuals that met the qualification guidelines? Do we have to deny as well, Mr. Attorney?
The board definitively has to vote upon which candidates should appear on the ballot. However, I have not seen anything where there has to be an official denial. But I understand from Ms. Graves at least there is a request for the board to make a decision or determination with regard to that. And the board may decide to do so at this board meeting or a subsequent board meeting.
Okay.
I see Mrs. Graves shaking her head.
Okay. Well, we're going to allow everyone an opportunity to speak. So, based upon this, Ms. Card, this is what you're saying that we need to do: deny and approve. Is what you're requesting?
That is my interpretation of the Attorney General's opinion, that we need to resolve it one way or the other. Plus, the candidates are at this point asking for us to make a decision.
Okay. It's been moved. Are any questions from Mr. Stokes?
Now, this is the motion that Supervisor Fisher has made, right?
Yes.
Now, because the order I have in front of me did not have, and I see this one for denying, but the issue for denying is not on the agenda, right?
If not, but it's all under the same heading.
Yes.
But I think that's what Supervisor Calhoun is saying. It's not on the agenda. So the only thing they're talking about voting on is what's in front of us that's on the agenda.
Well, the thing that what we can do is this: it's if the board feels as if this will not suffice, then we can just vote for the one that's on the agenda, and that is to vote for the ones that should be approved.
And for clarification, excuse me, Mr. President, I would just like to read what was stated. It is the responsibility of the candidate to see that the petition is filed with the Chancery Clerk prior to the statutory deadline. If the candidate fails to meet that responsibility, the the statute specifically requires the board to refuse to place the candidate's name on the ballot. So the name cannot appear on the ballot, but I don't believe the opinion requires that there be a vote on denying.
Okay. All right, well then, you want to amend your original?
I'll withdraw that motion then, and Ms. Carr, is that satisfactory with you?
I'm going by the legal opinion and the Attorney General's opinion, so how do you advise
So
about
you
it?
wouldn't withdraw your motion?
All I want to do is to make sure that because the candidates at this point leave, if I request that we move forward.
Mr. Fisher's going to withdraw his motion. I withdraw my second, and
I have another motion.
okay.
I move that the Board of Supervisors hereby accept the petitions and statements of each of those candidates which did qualify by the deadline time, and declare that they meet all requirements of Section 23-15-213, and each petition was personally signed by not less than 50 qualified electors and filed with both the Circuit Clerk and Chancery Clerk on the first Monday in June before the election of said office. The Board further finds each candidate as a resident of the supervisor district in which they seek to represent and is hereby ordered in the names of Marilyn Avery, District 1, James A. Reed, District 1, Primus Wheeler, District 1, Josephine Anderson, District 2, Jamel Clark, District 3, Centauri D. Bracey, District 3, Connie Cochran, District 4, Leela Gaston Rhodes, District 5, and Kathy Sykes, District 5, shall all be certified as candidates and their names shall be placed upon the official ballot for the November 6, 2012 general election.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second? Is there a second? In accordance with the Attorney General's opinion, I will second the motion based upon the Attorney General's opinion.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Just
Question from Mr. Stokes.
Just a correction. He said James Avery. I want the record to reflect that it's James A. Reed.
James Reed, okay. All right.
Sorry, James A. Reed.
Okay. All right, it's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of?
Yes.
Opposed to? Motion passes. Will the clerk please read the order?
We're approving this one.
We will approve, well, since Supervisor Fisher read the order,
Yeah.
then we will now read the order. Now, what we'll do is we'll allow the election commissioners, I believe all of the election commissioners are here. So we'll, Dr. Roach, would you like to speak on this issue? Mrs. Cochran, would you like to speak on this issue?
No, sir.
Mrs. Graves, would you like to speak on this issue? Mrs. Graves would like to speak on this issue. Mr. Clark, would you like to speak on this issue? Mr. Jamal Clark, would you like to speak on this issue as well?
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Graves and Mrs. Clark, if you would come to the front and we'll speak on this particular issue. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President and board members. At this time, I just want to get clarity. You just voted to accept the names that was on. So is there, according to you, you're going by the Attorney General's opinion, that's only an opinion, so therefore you will not come back with the possibility of placing me on the ballot? Is that your vote?
According to the board's vote, that is correct.
Okay. I'd like to ask a question because there has been papers found regarding my case, and I thought that would, my attorney's not here, so maybe I shouldn't say anything, but I would like to ask to be placed back on the agenda for the next meeting when my attorney has an opportunity to be present.
Okay, that wish will be granted. You're an elected official, so we will make sure that we put you on the next agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Clark?
Good morning, members of the Board of Supervisors and the audience. I come to the podium to ask to make a statement, I guess, concerning the issue at hand. I'm of the opinion that the names of Ms. Blunt and Mack and Election Commissioner Bobby Graves will not be placed on the podium or on the list because of the issue of time of them turning their petition in to the Chancellor Clerk's office. I want to bring to your attention that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that in the election year 2005 with the city of Utica, pretty much, I think Supervisor Calhoun, Supervisor Anderson, was the remaining folks, I believe, at this point in time, on the board at that time. The town of Utica, except for maybe one person, and I have to look back to the records, most of all of them missed the qualifying deadline. Now, I don't know who's actually responsible for the fact that the date was moved and allowed these particular candidates, the mayor, the aldermen, or the city council of town of Utica, to revise that deadline. And in order for them, I don't know whether it's 90 days, 100 days, or what, I forgot exactly the time frame, but it was reset to allow these elected officials to come back and run for their respective offices. So I just want to remind you of that. I don't know whether it's done from the governor's point of view or the county's point of view or the municipal's point of view, but municipal officials set one time before that. If we did, this would be setting a precedent, but the precedent has already been set. We also look at the counties involved. Washington County had the same situation, and Simpson County had the same situation. So it is up to you to make a decision. I also want to call your attention to, I don't know how, I do know it's relative, but section 2315-211, and it is relative to section 2315-153, 2315-213. In a sense, it is, because that particular statute allows the Board of Supervisors and gives them such discretion in the area of if an elected election commissioner does not turn in his or her certificate of qualification or certification to run an election will be held in January of each year, that it gives you the discretion, if these individuals, he or she, does not turn in their certificate by April the 30th, the sole discretion to vacate that office. So you do have the power to make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, Mrs. Grace, would you like to make another comment, and then we're going to move on to this point?
Commissioner Clark just addressed a point that I was going to present at this time. Excuse me, but I would also like to say that you're going by an Attorney General's opinion, and that's all it is an opinion. It is not the law. And for those who don't know, I just want to go on record that that is not the law.
Okay.
And the statute that you're going by does not coincide with what the Attorney General has stated.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comments. We will continue with our printed agenda. We notice a couple of other elected officials that are in the audience. We'll now go to Sheriff Lewis. He's here. We'll go ahead and go with him. His item that he has on the agenda. Have I missed any other elected officials here that are present?